Happy Sunday, my friends. Catherine suggests that I show my face and introduce myself. Mary T. McCullough, again, at a place where my heart is. And of course, my first stop will be the same one where we started. The root structure of this pond apple. I have a little bit more. The root structure showing. The water seems to have decreased in level. All the apples are gone, feeding the animals. Today I'm going to take us into the walkways inside the many areas of the ponds. So thank you for following along with me. I'll see you shortly. A little further along the trail, we have an anhinga at the top of this pond apple. She's a female. You can see that on her silver neck. They dive deep into the water. She's greeting you. And then when they come up after feeding, they have to stand on the trees or on the side of the water with their wings open so they can dry. And then they dive in again and swim for their supper. A lot of butterflies and dragonflies as usual. Here we are at the top of the levee facing the Everglades. Not so breezy today. We did have some weather change this weekend. Front came through, wind and rain, and left us with less humidity than normal. Maybe about 63 or 65%, which is pretty darn good for us in South Florida. So I want you to take a look at about middle of the frame. And perhaps you can see the clouds that are darker. What we have there is the burning of a sugarcane field. After the harvest, the sugarcane field is burned, which brings into the atmosphere the smoke, as you can see in that dark swathe of clouds there. Yep, I would argue that it's not the most environmentally friendly way to do this, but it is the traditional way in South Florida for the sugarcane conglomerates to retread their fields for the next year. Not sure you could see our beautiful Osprey flying, soaring, doing what I wish I could do. Just float on the breeze. Just float on the breeze. Watching the butterflies dance. Feel the breeze on my face as I listen to the wind in the grasses. Feel the breeze on my face. And the birds. This alone is enough to come out here every weekend. I don't believe I've taken us this close to some of the water's edge. We have they're not orchids, but they are beautiful. how the water reflects this cloud. Watching the dragonflies flit about. Down here I know people are above me on the levees. Can hear them. But I can also feel like I'm here alone in this little paradise. And you can see some of the aqua grasses beneath the water. And the shells of the snails that the birds will happily munch on. Quite a few of those. Snails. I can't tell if they are the invasive species or not. They're coming down here at the edge, even though there are no birds nearby. It's quite lovely. All right, here we have an example of Florida. We have a gator tucked back into the grasses. The better to defend the clutch of eggs if that has already happened, or the store of food, or just stumble across the birds as they wander in. But the birds might know that this young gator is here, since there are no birds in this part of the water. And here we have a limpkin with that lovely beak. This creature is the one that eats those snails. And there are also little bivalves that look like mussels that this particular creature loves. It's the first time I've seen a single one in the past several weeks. Maybe it is time for some of the birds to return, which of course makes this an even more exciting place to hang out. There's usually a resident alligator near the fishing pier as well, but I don't see him or her today. Alright, we've come down from the levee into some of the areas that are portioned off for the water mitigation and the cleansing. And since we started, it's much more cloudy, but that means many more clouds to enjoy. We're coming this way because there's a hawk on the top of a tree out there. That's where we're headed. I figured we'd take advantage of beautiful creatures and plants, humans in other ways. It's nice of them to mow the area so that people can walk here. Only people, no pets, no horses. And I believe we have a red dragonfly. Wait for it to alight. There he is. Let's see if we can get to it. Oh, I spooked him. And of course, we are near an airport where people are practicing their touch and goes. And as you can see, one of the water intake and outgo. So this is one of the ponds closest to the levee, next to the Everglades. And now we're going to face south and then east, because these grasses are just so pretty in the sunlight. Flashes of pink, gold. And a nice little collection of cypress there. Hanging on nicely between the little roadway and the pathway along the pond. So let's see if we can get a closer look at this hawk who has been sitting at the top of this tree for quite a while. There he is. I believe it's one of our favorite red-shouldered hawks, waiting up there for a little creature to show its face or its tail, where we dive in and take him on.